and for everything there is a sustenance, there is a food. That as we are in the material world preoccupied with feeding the body, some feed the body even more than others, that's why they're plump. So we're good at that, but there's a sustenance for the soul, and the soul is a companion within this body. Body is merely a vehicle in which to carry. It carries that soul, the soul is the driver, and the soul requires a sustenance. And Allah in Holy Qur'an and through many holy books talks about Naqatullah, the camel of God, and the story of the she-camel in which the people and the Prophet Salih had a she-camel, and Allah said, I'll send this camel but you make sure that you give it access to water. We won't go into that, but its reality from Mawlana Shaykh's teaching is that it's our soul, and that at every time on this earth as humans we are occupied with feeding the physicality and giving all of the physical desires and all of the physical wants, and it requires more and more. Mawlana Shaykh describes as an insatiable appetite. As much as you give to the body desire, as much as it's still hungry. Eyes are hungry, it wants more, it wants more. Upon every horizon it wants a new horizon of more material and more consumption and more devouring. And that passenger in which we are neglecting is the soul. And the soul, like a camel, can go very long, but at a point in time if the camel and the soul doesn't receive its sustenance, it can begin to inflict a heavy toll upon the body. If that soul doesn't receive the sustenance it requires, and it's a light being, and now alhamdulillah with a little bit of science and physics you understood the reality of light. You have form, and that form is only manifesting because there's a light, that's quantum. So there's a form. When this form is manifesting, even scientists can come and teach us now, there must be a light. So there's a nur, that light must be appearing and your form is manifesting. Then they went further and said, if there's a light, the source of that light must be a sound, must be a sound for that light to be appearing, because that light is making an energy. An energy is moving, the light is appearing, with the light you have form. So we're all just pieces of light, these atoms are moving fast, making the appearance of a form. They break it and go all the way back, it's an energy. That energy is in existence by sound. So it means that those whom they're not feeding their soul, they're not feeding their energy, they're not feeding their light, one of the sicknesses that will be put upon the body is depression and anxiety. Depression and anxiety. In a world now where everybody suffers from depression, because the leading medicines you see on TV, it gives you an understanding of what people are going through, otherwise they advertise it. Why they don't just give a few to the doctor's office? But when it's so much that they can advertise to the millions and to the masses, because shaitan knows when he distracts us from our light reality and our soul reality and our energy reality, but only gives us the food of the body, he knows there's going to be a depression and anxiety as a sickness. And he tries to offer a medication that take this medication to take away your depression. It doesn't take away the depression, it takes away your ability to think about the depression. And if it's so strong, the medicine will make you lethargic, where you can't think, you can't talk, you can't do nothing, your tongue sticks out. It didn't take away any depression. Means then the remedy where Allah describes there is a remedy for every sickness, and the remedy for depression and anxiety has to do with the soul. That in our lives and in our busy lives and in this world, when they're wondering, why you people gather and sit on this carpet and you have to chant for so long, it's actually God's mercy to us that go to it's like a pharmacy, a heavenly pharmacy, heavenly doctors, sit with them, and that every cure will be given to you. But the cure from inside, we believe, fixes outside. External doctors, they only fix outside. They look and say, okay, you have bumps, you need this medicine. Internal doctors, they understood that the reality inside has to be fixed. When the inside is fixed, you'll see the perfection manifest outside. So means then the sickness to be taken away from depression and anxiety has to do with the chanting and the feeding of the soul. As much as we can chant, as much as we can meditate and bring the energy of the breath, bring the praisings upon the Divinely Presence, that as soon as you praise the Divinely Presence, that's the secret, is that sound makes energy, energy makes light. When you make no sound from your mouth other than bad words, yelling and screaming, imagine the energy it produces and the low level light that begins to manifest. And everybody, most people, 99% of the people who are not practicing spiritual practices, they are emanating a tremendously negative light. And as a result they have depression and anxiety. Depression because the soul is telling the body, we've been sent here for a mission on this earth. We have a two-way ticket, and shaitan is fooling you to think your ticket is one way, you come and it's finished. No, you're from paradise only for a material experience. You came for a short experience and your two-way ticket is to go back. So the soul is conscious of that, the soul is never ignorant, it gets its direction directly from Divinely Presence. The soul is telling that we have a ticket and this plane is boarding. We don't know the physicality, the soul knows that this plane it has to go back. If we're not doing anything to prepare, it begins to put a panic upon the body, and that's the anxiousness, always anxious, always fearful, something must be wrong. Yes, something very wrong, that we're not giving any food to the soul, we're not giving any practices and any importance to the soul, and that soul is an eternal being. This physicality, it comes like a car and is parked back into the dirt. From ashes to ashes and dust to dust, it goes back. But the eternal being, the being of light and energy, it has its own sustenance. Alhamdulillah, tariqah comes and teaches, and Mawlana Shaykh teaches that for depression and anxiety, alhamdulillah wa shukran lillah. Alhamdulillah wa shukran lillah. Every day alhamdulillah wa shukran lillah. We have it all in our awrads. And those that don't have the daily awrad and wazifa is a reminder for them that say alhamdulillah means all praise be to God, all praise be to you, all praise. Where Allah described everything is praising me, but you haven't the ears to understand except Ahl tafakkur. Now awliyaullah, they can hear the praise of everything in creation if Allah give them permission. The faculty of their soul, they operate from their soul. So it means everything is praising the Divine, it's just the ignorant mankind in the middle that says, no, I won't praise. As soon as we praise, say alhamdulillah, 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 everything. Whether you think you're not getting what everybody else is getting, but keep saying alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, all praise be to God, all praise be to God, and then that depression begins to be lifted. Allah says, you're correct. Now that you're praising me, you have my attention. I'm the one who will send the medicine, the energy and the reality to that soul, not to be anxious and not to be depressed. And then Mawlana Shaykh says that on top of that alhamdulillah wa shukran lillah is put shukran lillah. That I praise you as all your creation is praising you. And shukran lillah is that, oh my Lord, I'm